realize that they need to get over. Because honestly, I feel like that's the only mental block that you really could have in the gym if you were just now starting.
If I'm an activist, I'm supporting
Activist.
yes,
That
I'm an
is-
activist.
Activist for what?
I'm protesting the evil empire that is Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. See, I've sacrificed my heart and soul to that team, and they've gave me nothing but bad luck. Nothing but bad luck and bad memories this team has given me. And last year was the final straw. I know you guys like to put this on me. I have never said that the Cowboys were going to win the Super Bowl ever in my life, except for last year. Last year was the only year where I put the battery in my back. I said, you know what? This year, I believe we could do it. I had it. It was in my hands. We went out, right? We get the 2 seed. The Eagles gag how they gagged. I'm thinking, okay, this year, if there's any year, the stars align. We're going to beat up on the Packers at home. Then after that, we'll take care of Detroit at home. That all I need them to do, because then we're an NFC Championship game. Then I'm okay. Then whatever happens is whatever happens. And all I need is one time to beat San Fran. Why not this time? I talked myself into it. I said, we got all these players, right? Dak plays the best I've ever seen a Cowboys player, period, have ever played. We have him and CD lockstep like this. Tony Pollard is competent. Jake Ferguson is competent. The O-line is all right. The defense, is bend but don't break. They can get turnovers. And then for them to lose that Green Bay game, how they lost it by getting spanked from the jump. I said, you know what? That's it. I can't do this anymore. I got to stand for something because these players and these coaches, they don't care about me and my well-being. So to hell with them. I'm saving years off my life. That's why I did what I did. All right. And I'll do it again. And I will do it again.
Jesus.
So it was a business decision, It
was a mental health decision because we like to protect mental health around here. Alex goes to the gym, right? Him going to the gym protects his own mental health. Me being anti-Cowboy for a year is protecting my mental health. I just don't see how we can't support that.
Okay, you know what? I think that's a good way to start the show. This is the Are We Recording podcast where we care about your mental health. And if it means switching from the Cowboys, then I guess you got to do it. I'm 007 Gage Sutton with my co-hosts, the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton. He's upgraded to 5'6" of pure temptation. But
don't make that face, Ali. Don't make that face.
No, I just
don't make that face when he said 5'6". Don't make that face. I didn't like that.
I was looking at some on my screen that came up. I had a message.
Yeah. Okay. Better than that.
Our message. I'm on
yeah. For sure.
But now, hey, we got to take a moment to introduce our guest for today's podcast. Is AlexFit. Thank you,
Alex,
for joining,
man. Appreciate you joining, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
For those who don't know, Alex is the second buffest guy I know. I know myself and many others. But all jokes aside, Alex is one of the most dedicated people I've ever met to his content creation space. We're going to make sure we have all his links in the description in the bio below. But Alex, I appreciate you hopping on the pod this week. I know it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, definitely. I'm tired of you cooking my teams week after week, and now my artists. I had to stand for something. What did you say? I gotta stand for something.
Yeah. Either die for nothing or stand for something. I like this. You got, and boy, oh boy, it's been a minute since we recorded a podcast, and you're gonna have to stand by your people today. Which I don't blame. We gotta stand by. We gotta know where we have our biases, and we gotta just be like, hey, this is what it is.
We don't jump ship over here.
All right. So you see,
exactly. Hey, that's what we're saying, Alex. Because before we jump right into this podcast, we'll give y'all a quick breakdown of what's going to happen. We're going to talk a little bit about certain artists that me and Alex have a certain conversation we need to have affinity for. Yeah, we need to have a conversation about this man. And then we'll talk a little bit more, Alex, about Alex's fitness journey and how music kind of coincides with all of that. And before we move any further, make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, share it with one of your friends, your lover, your mom, your grandma.
Your lover's lover, the one that she actually likes, not you. Make sure to share with everybody that you know.
To the mental health.
Yeah, bad.
But without further ado, man, let's get into the subject at hand. It is, of course, again, our man, Jermaine Cole. Mr. J.Cole is on the docket. And Alex, I just want to give you the floor, man. How do you feel about J. Cole's newest track? And how do you just feel about him in the situation as a whole with the big three?
I definitely feel like I don't think he did anything wrong, in my opinion. Like I was telling Ethan before, I think that he did what he did in, not only giving praise to himself, but him, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar took that as however he wanted to take it. Shot back, said, fuck the big three. Okay, you know what? That's cool.
That's the energy we got.
At that point, you got to defend yourself. So I understand. I like the jab he took back. But once he realized that it was a lot deeper, he took a step back. I don't think there was anything wrong with
that. And I mean, sorry, I just want to say something because as the other J. Cole defender here, I will say the 7-minute drill. I even said it after it came out. Is we knew that these weren't hitting deeper. He wasn't going at anything personal. He was attacking Kendrick's discography, which was really bad because why would you attack Kendrick's discography? But it's because he didn't want to come at him personally. He knew what this was. He knew that it was going to get really messy and he wanted to keep his mental health out of it. And I can't blame him. And that's why I still stand by him, E.
See, I won't take this gaslighted by two master manipulators right here. That I will not do. That will not happen. Not on my watch. For those who are new to the subject right here, of course, we had the biggest hip-hop battle ever this past summer between Kendrick and Drake and Cole for about 5 minutes. But the reason why this is brought up again
7 minutes.
It's 7 minutes because J. Cole dropped a new track called Porto Antonio on Instagram. And I have this whole theory that we can say for this episode or another episode with artists now dropping a lot of their music. I don't know if you guys have been noticing. These artists are dropping a lot of their music on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
None of these songs are showing up on streaming. And I have a theory when it comes to it that I'll say, I guess, towards the end of the topic as a little Easter egg. But I like the track. Surprisingly, I really, really like the track. It samples Jay-Z's Dead Presidents. My issue comes with the apology of it, right? So during the track, you can obviously tell through certain lines that J. Cole knows that Drake definitely feels a way about how he handled the whole him and Kendrick beef. You could tell that Drake definitely feels that that Cole left him out to dry. Point blank, period. I think we kind of got that feeling from Drake, especially with him having the burner account plot twist and him liking certain tweets and IG posts about J. Cole making sleepy music or J. Cole being quote unquote pussy when it comes to the beef. And honestly, I gotta stand with Drake and the sentiment again of how Cole handled it. Again, I'm with you guys, right? See, this is what the J. Cole fans like to do. He's protecting his mental health, and if he don't want to take personal shots, that's just not within him. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to do some stuff that ain't them, that ain't in their heart of hearts. Because at the end of the night, they're the one that's gonna have to go to sleep at night and live with it. Not none of his fans that just want to see the battle be for the battle and want to see our artists come out on top, right? I understand that, right? You should do stuff for yourself. But 7-minute drill existed. He shot back. Now, whether the shot was good or bad, you can leave it up to interpretation. I don't think 7-minute drill was a bad diss track. I'm not going to be like, well, actually, Kendrick's diss track Kendrick's albums are really good. No, nigga. If I'm Cole, fuck your albums. All your albums are sleepy. Fuck it. I'm with it. I'm with it. For the sake of the diss, you got to say some shit that's not true. I'm with it. Sometimes that's how it is. You guys all remember being in the lunchroom and you got to roast somebody back about having dirty, dry skin or a little head or a big forehead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That shit most of the time is not true. But sometimes you just got to make a diss just to make a diss. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to yeah. You just got to take the shot. So I'm not mad at that from J. Cole. Yeah. My issue comes with how he apologized. To this day, how he apologized on that stage will be one of the biggest stains of his career. If J. Cole would have just been he would have made 7-minute drill, right? Dreamville Fest would have happened. He didn't even have to mention 7-minute drill because it happened a week or so after, or 2 days after the track came out. If Kendrick and Drake would have had that back and forth and behind the scenes, he would have told the both of them, yo, I hear what y'all about to do to each other. I don't want no parts of it, and that'll be that. If he would have behind the scenes done that, and I guess not give us too much of a peek behind the Wizard of Oz curtain, I wouldn't have a problem with it, because it's like you're not necessarily taking back the diss track, but you're telling those two like, yo, if this is where y'all going, I don't want none of it. I still stand by the diss track I made to you, Kendrick, because if this is the sparring me and you can do, I'm down to do this. You know what I'm saying? But this whole thing of, oh, I'm like Mike and Red Leather, I'm standing between the both of y'all, like all the blood end up on me. I don't like that, because J. Cole, what fucking blood ended up on you?
Can I touch on that?
Absolutely, Alex.
Okay. I feel like in that situation, people were gonna bash on him regardless, whether he stood 10 toes on the diss track or whether he apologized behind the scenes. I think he was gonna get bashed for it regardless, because he's already been getting bashed years prior to him not dissing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted J. Cole for so long to start actually, beefing with somebody. He stayed out of everything. Sadly, he actually had to get into it with one of his friends, because believe it or not, they're actually friends outside of music.
Do you guys believe that? Do you guys believe that
I genuinely think they were.
that Cole is friends with Kendrick Drake? Like, actually, in your heart of hearts, do you believe that they're friends?
I'm not saying Drake. I'm not saying Drake at all. I think he might be cordial with Drake, but I think that him and Kendrick were actually like cooler on a deeper level. Maybe not like best of friends, like grew up together, but they were definitely like cool enough to,
Mm-hmm. I would say at least J. Cole thinks so.
Yeah, at least from one perspective.
So, I don't know. That's my whole thing with these musicians. I don't believe that none of them are friends. I guess this is the story that I've heard about certain musicians and my time researching certain things in the music industry, especially certain accounts when it comes to these artists. But I don't believe none of these guys are friends. And I believe that everything is done with the idea of their PR and their self-image and branding. Kendrick and Cole and Drake are all tied to each other because of the blog era, because of them being the big three. The one thing that stood out to me and was apparently evident throughout this entire beef is Cole is the only one that thought he was on that all three were all buddy. The other two made it very clear they were not buddy with each other.
Well, it's because like
for a long time
it was an interesting. Well, it's an interesting dynamic, because it's like imagine if like all three of us, right, and me and Alex hate each other. Like we just can't fucking stand each other. But Ethan, you love both of us, and then like we start beefing, and you want to bring him on the pod.
I hear you. But if I'm hearing from both of y'all all the time about how like, Ethan, I'm not really rocking with Gage like that. Like, I guess he's alright. Like, he's cool for like to talk to. Sometimes he's friendly, but like we're not really close like that. I'm not gonna keep saying, "Oh, it's the three amigos. It's us, the three amigos." And I feel like that's what Cole backed himself between a corner and a hard place, a rock and a hard place. You know what I'm saying? He kept pushing this big three with a big three with a Spider-Man meme looking at each other. Them other two boys did not think about it like that. They did not. And so when the battle happened, it kind of left him in a spot of he not necessarily had to pick a side, but now J. Cole, you can't be friendly with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just keep doing this kumbaya, we'll all be friends, let's not make a thing personal. Because them two boys, the boy up north and Mr. 5'5" out west, they made it very clear that them two brothers had no issue taking to where they go. And that's my other issue with J. Cole is in the Port Antonio track, he talks about how these guys are doing it for clicks, and he's doing it. These guys are doing the battle for clicks and all this other stuff. Well, J. Cole, you did it too. Don't act like you're holier than thou because you took back the apology or took back the diss. You threw a punch and are now trying to actively take away the punch. That's my thing too. Just own up to the punch that it happened. Don't be holier than thou and, oh, these brothers is only doing it for clicks and da-da-da-da-da. No, that's when I feel like you're not in a position to give these two advice on how they handle the beef. They chose the path that they chose because now these two are having, I guess, personal marks on their character. Kendrick is now being called a W abuser by certain parties. Now Drake is being called a PDF file. These are the hills that these two decided to die on when it came to dissing each other. So don't now start giving these two advice.
You know, I think that's a fair point to give you, because this is the one thing I will say, even as a J. Cole defender, is I think that the way that he has acted retroactively after these things has really hurt him in these positions, which is really, really weird because normally we would see artists like do this kind of stuff like on social media, but J. Cole isn't that kind of guy. He's not on Instagram Live. He's not tweeting any about this shit. The way he did it on a stage, and then now to put out a song when this is like the only time we ever hear from him, it's just I don't know. I think you do have a point, E. Like just retroactively.
You see what I'm saying? Like you can't like you like again. You've gotten into an arguments within friends, right? Where you have one buddy that wants to stay out of it. Okay, then stay out of it. Don't jump in, jump out, and then have the nerve to comment on how me and you acted. You know what I'm saying? Because Alex, you can attest to this. You got into. I'm of the mindset sometimes you got to fight with your friends in the aspect of like sometimes you got to get into arguments with friends and some shit is kind of better off left. Maybe I shouldn't repeat or I shouldn't say again. But at the same time, it's like, dog, don't start giving me advice about how I handle this situation when you didn't want no parts of it. You know what I'm saying?
I would say, personally, I think that it's not necessarily him telling him what to do because, like you were saying, you know. I think it's more so once he realized that it was more of a personal jab, he decided to step back. And then Kendrick obviously was like, okay, you know better. And Drake felt some kind of way because, like you said, he left him out to dry. And I really don't think that has anything to do with him because Drake was beefing with everybody else prior to the fact.
Yeah.
So I don't think that had anything to do with him. If you want to feel some kind of way, in my opinion, by all means, feel whatever way you want to do it. But going on burner accounts and liking shit about people calling them pussy and, you know, backing out or whatever. I personally think that at that point, that's when, you know, you got to stand up for something and then be like, okay, well, now I'm in the middle of this because now you don't fuck with me because I didn't do this with him. And now you are like, you know, kind of like you took a shot at me for what? Took it back. You got deep. You're mad that I apologized. That's on y'all.
I feel that.
Honestly feel that too, of like the sense of like I don't think Drake can be mad. I think Drake has every right to be mad, and J. Cole can't do anything about it. Even though he apologized, Drake has every right to be upset. But I think I speak for you and me, and maybe for a lot of the hip hop community, maybe not. I don't care. I'm just looking forward to J. Cole's next album. He's still one of the best technical rappers alive. And like, yes, this is obviously going to leave a stain. When we were talking about the big three, we knew J. Cole was not the number one guy. Even I can accept it. I love the guy, but we knew Kendrick has the better discography, all that stuff.
I'm delusional. That's my number one.
It's okay though. It's okay. The Gemini out west taught you boys something, a good old lesson this summer. A good lesson. A good lesson this summer.
Hey, but while we are on the topic of new music, we actually have a new Tyler the Creator album coming soon. And I think the big thing I really want to touch on here for this Tyler album, or I guess, Alex, before we get into all of this, do you listen to Tyler a lot, or is this something you're...
There is one of the creators I actually do not listen to.
See, that's here. We're gonna put you on because I feel like I really think you would rock with Tyler. Certain aspects of Tyler, I really feel like you would rock with. And
I don't disagree, but my thing is, every time you tell me I'm gonna put you on, I end up not liking it.
Fair enough. Alex is a big hater of everything I do. Like I said, if we talk about members of the Ethan Hamilton hate club, Alex is definitely a member. I would like to say he's like probably like I would say a captain.
I'm on the
10th. Yeah, you're definitely on the board. No, but I can respect that. I feel like the thing about Tyler, I feel like everybody can respect is how he rolls out his albums. Because in a day and age where, like I said, a lot of artists take long times in between the albums, or I feel like they rush in how they present the albums. Because you can have the best album in the world, but if it's not presented in the correct way to your audience, then who's going to give a damn about it? That's why I feel like now, because there's so much oversaturation of music, you have so many people releasing so many albums, right? You got to find a way to have your shit stand out. And if there's anybody that has mastered how to present their album, it's Tyler the Creator. Because you're going to know every 2 years, give or take, you're going to get a new Tyler project. He's going to make a quick announcement. And with that, within those like 2 weeks, you're going to get a new project. And it's going to be a completely different sound than before. And so to see him even though for the past year or so, he's been gaslighting everybody on Twitter and social media, talking about ain't no new album coming soon because he dropped a deluxe last year. Ain't no new album coming soon. Y'all don't gotta fucking worry about it. Just focus on what y'all gotta focus on. Don't worry about me. Even 2 weeks ago, he was commenting under Steve Lacy's post talking about don't ask me about no goddamn new fucking album. There's no new fucking album. And then for him to roll out last week. Oh yeah, by the way, I have a whole new concept of this album called Chromakopia. I've already shot pretty much every single music video. Here's a snippet with Daniel Caesar and maybe Frank Ocean. Here's the lineup for Can't Flog It On. Boom, there you go. It's very refreshing because it's like, damn, I wish artists would just give us that. Like whenever they're ready, no bullshit. Just give us what you're
Playboy Cardi.
Yeah, Playboy Cardi. I wish you were able just to give us the music that you want to create without like none of this blue ball in us. You know what I'm saying? Just have the whole thing and nothing else. Just give us the whole thing. No pause. No pause.
Okay. You're crazy. No, but
Gage,
yeah.
What do you think about the snippet and everything like that?
Dude, I am so excited for this Tyler album. The snippet was awesome. The music video was so cool and shot like so interesting, and a lot of references to things that I'm sure we can get into in another episode. But I'm just really excited for this new sound. But I think the thing I really want to focus on is, like you said, the rollout. And what I love the most about what Tyler's doing and how I want to transition this conversation a little is Tyler's going to release this album on a Tuesday, which is very weird because for years now, artists have been releasing their music on Friday night or Thursday night, going into Friday morning. So Tyler explained
let's give you some background. The reason why, Alex, I don't know if you know this, but the reason why albums are nowadays are released Thursday night, Friday night is because of Beyonce. In like 2013, she had the Beyonce self-titled album, and that kind of changed how artists release music at the end of the week prior to, because before, like when we were younger, that shit used to come out like on Monday or Tuesday at the beginning of the fucking week, right? Yeah. And I feel like Tyler kind of gets into it about how he kind of just wants to restore the feeling of like being able to enjoy an album, being able to enjoy music at the beginning of a week throughout your week. You know what I'm saying? Because on Friday, you know this, right? The only time you're going to get to listen to music on the weekends is passive listening, when you're in the car, when you're in the gym, when you're on the way to go do certain things. You kind of don't really take the time on the weekends because you're out. A lot of people are off work. They're off doing what they got to do. They're celebrating certain things. And so I guess this is where I think I know where Gage is transitioning to, is you spending a lot of time in the gym with doing content creation and on your fitness journey. How do you feel like albums being released on Fridays has impacted the way you listen to music and the certain music that you like to listen to?
I feel like the way that, well, obviously, I feel like we all know that music in the gym is essential. I feel like it's essential. I will say I know that some people personally work out without music, and it's a little weird in my opinion.
Hey, I actually had a question about that. I was gonna say that's a trend now that people are calling it raw dog in the gym.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That's insane.
First of all, yeah, no. So I get it. People don't want to do caffeine before the gym. They don't want to. Okay, whatever it may be the case, self-discipline or whatever you want to do. But me personally, I feel like music plays a very big role in how I enjoy my lifts personally. When albums do get released at the end of the week, right? Say it's an artist that I do like. For the rest of the week, because 9 times out of 10, I don't work out on the weekends. So I would like to enjoy listening to music throughout the week when I'm actually, able to get good workouts in, and I don't have to rush about having to go to work or having to do this, that, and the third on the weekend. So I feel like it plays a very big role. Well, now, right? Because I'm not gonna lie. I'll listen to the album just because I like who you mentioned that was being featured on it. Mm-hmm. So respect to that. But say if it was to be dropped at the beginning of the week, I would enjoy it a lot more. So it would definitely play a big role, because essentially music can make or break your workout depending on what you listen to and how you work out.
Absolutely. And I feel like too is like with music releasing on Fridays, I think it lends to a certain vibe, right? It's the weekend. You want to be around some baddies. This is the type of music you're out with friends. This is the type of music you're going to try to listen to. And I feel like that kind of, I feel like it harms certain music that's more introspective, more of I'm by myself. It's meant for me, not necessarily to analyze, but it's not really meant for me to be partying with, right? And I feel like having music released on a Tuesday, where like, you know what, Tuesday morning, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm able to find the tracks that I like. That way, come Friday and Saturday, when it's time to pop out with the baddies, I know what songs I need to add to the repertoire. I know what songs I need to have in the playlist.
I know what's in the bag for the weekend.
I know it's in the bag for the weekend, because if you just have the album come out like Friday morning, you got to listen to that motherfucker fast. Like if it's somebody that you really like, okay, these are the songs I really, really like. It doesn't really give you a chance to sit with an album throughout, because with a lot of albums, you guys have done this. You guys listen to music, right? You get the album Friday morning, you listen to it maybe once, right? And if nothing crazy come out, you're not going to get back to it at all. Maybe Monday if you go back to it, and that's if somebody you really, really like and you're trying to find something that you want to enjoy. But a lot of artists and a lot of their music kind of falls by the wayside because of that kind of black hole at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And I like that Tyler is like so authentic to music, you know what I mean? To the craft of trying to set the environment of it. Him being like, you know what, fuck this. I'm releasing my shit on a Monday or Tuesday because I want people to sit with my shit. Fuck releasing this shit on a Friday. And hopefully it starts a trend of more people dropping albums at the beginning of weeks. I don't know. I'm all for it.
I will say, the one thing I do know about Tyler, the Creator, is that he's very versatile when it comes to his music. He's one of those creators that's kind of like, you don't think I can do this? Bet. Let me show you.
I like that. I like that. Even if it's, because sometimes, like I said, I'm not gonna say it's all hits, no misses, right? I definitely think in the recent years, probably the last like 5-6 years, he's definitely gotten a lot better. But I can always respect that from the artist. Like they're able to take criticism or they're able to silence doubters. Like, oh, y'all don't think I can do this? Bet that, right? I feel like all of us as content creators have had moments where we're like, oh, you don't think I can do this? Oh, say less. Yeah. Say less. I'm gonna show you.
Yep. And that's why I love Tyler so much. I'm so excited to see what he's got to bring for this album. And I think the other thing, like you mentioned, is just like his love for the music. I think he really wants people to listen to an album all the way through, like it's meant to be, especially for one of his albums, which are so like glamorous and very, I don't know, like you said, introspective sometimes too with Tyler. So yeah, I'm so excited for it. And I think there are going to be some really good songs for the gym on this album. And we will definitely send them your way, Alex. But Alex, we got to ask you being a personal trainer, correct?
No.
No?
He's not a personal trainer yet. I'm trying. He trying. Man. Alex is I wouldn't say a personal trainer. Alex is I would say a fitness influencer. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure our audience knows what kind of content that you do.
It is fitness. I don't consider myself an influencer. I don't really like to take that title on. Just me personally. I'm grateful for the following, but it's just, I don't know. It's something about it. Maybe it's just a me thing. I personally don't like to take on that kind of label or role, and go.
No.
Dude, that's a very humble answer, but like I gotta tell you, bro.
Brother,
like, just
no.
I'm just saying.
Hey, brother.
That's a very humble answer, Alex. And the thing is, you sent me your stuff before we started, and looking at your profile and stuff. Like, you got such a big following, and you're posting so much. You impact a lot of people, man. And even though you're not a personal trainer, I thought you were a personal trainer just because of how many people are following you, just how much reach you have. So like, I know you don't want to take on that title of like influencer.
We're gonna give it to you. We're gonna give it to you because
you worked for it, man. You worked for it.
and he does. I know Alex, all jokes aside, I know Alex a very long time, right? And Alex is a very humble guy. And it bothers me a lot about him. But I do feel like you got to give credit where credit is due. Alex is dedicated to the craft of content creation, right? And creating the content that he wants to put out into the world and the content that he enjoys seeing. And you got nothing to do but to salute my boy and what he's done and what he's going to achieve.
Appreciate you.
And I feel like we got to get into, before we let you go, I want you to get in your bag a little bit about like what made you get on this fitness journey.
Dude, it's like we mentioned earlier, mental health. I'm being so serious. There's literally mental health. So it was something that I needed to focus on after transitioning out of soccer or just sports in general. Because, you've known me for a long time. So we both have been doing sports since we were like 6, 8.
Mad young.
extremely young. So just, we've always had something to do. Whenever our sport ended, we would join a different one, regardless whether we knew how to play it or not, regardless whether we were good at it or not. It was just, we were just always having to do something. And after high school, I waited too long on an offer that I got. And once it got pulled, once I tried to like double back on it, it mentally did fuck me up a little bit. Because it's like, damn, now what? We're out of high school, now what? And I just wanted to do something. Like, obviously, college wasn't really the route that I wanted to go if I wasn't doing sports. As weird as that sounds to some people. So yeah, it honestly was like, on top of other stuff, just mental health was my out. It was like my escape. I did that. It just kind of turned into a hobby that I enjoyed doing, which is why I never really joined into any kind of bodybuilding competition. It's because, I do it as a hobby. I do it because it helps me feel better. Once I start doing it, it feels like a job, or, and it starts like taking the fun out of working out. That's when I'm like,
I get that. I feel like me and Gage kind of feel the same way about this broadcast and podcasting field that we chose to be a part of. It's like we're very dedicated to it, but once it starts to feel more like an obligation than the love that we have, I feel like certain conversations need to be had. Thankfully, we haven't got to that point. But thank you, brother, man. And I know a lot of people are going to be watching us for the first time because of you, because they've seen us on your page. And I'm pretty sure I got a couple questions right here that I know they're definitely going to want to ask you. And the first one I got to say is whenever you first got back into going into the gym, right? Not like to start a following or to do anything particular like monetary with it, just for you to get back into the gym because of your mental health, because of your, I just want to look fly. I want to look good. I want to feel good in my everyday life. How were you able to get over that hurdle of going to the gym? Because I know a lot of people are still stuck in that mindset of like, they'll see people like you on their page and they'll be like, damn, I want to be like that. Even though they can never be like that, and the best they can be is themselves. If you can give them an advice of how to jump over that hurdle, what would it be?
Dude, honestly, it's just that. Well, actually, no. Damn, actually, that's a good question. I don't even know how to answer that.
Oh yeah, you could be asking good questions sometimes. You gotta give
He's a real journalist over here, man.
I know. We have to put my little journalist hat on.
Show your diploma, bro.
Because I relate to that question a lot, because you know me, bro, Alex. I used to never go to the gym, and I'm not saying I'm Mr. Bodybuilder or nothing crazy like that. I think you both can attest to it. No, you're good. But I've definitely like had to be at one point like put my pride to the side on some, like, you know what? Whenever I go to the gym, I care about me and I care about myself and the work that I'm putting in. Because I feel like a lot of times people get caught up into like how other people are looking at the gym, and if a lot of people are looking at them and are they seeing me fuck up on this machine. And I feel like it's definitely something that you got to put your ego to the side of. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. In that instance, I know what you're talking about. It's one of those things you have to realize, like, the spotlight is not always on you, bro. as much as people, and that's not even a bad thing. I don't mean that in a bad sense. I just mean that 9 times out of 10, people are feeling the exact same way that beginners are. Like, oh shit, am I doing this right? Because I'm not gonna lie, even me personally, there will be new workouts that I want to try, or that I will try because somebody recommended it, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. I will sit there and be like, damn, am I doing this right? Damn, do I look goofy? Do I look goofy trying to do this movement, trying to set it up? Like, it's okay. Everybody is going to try something new for the first time. And, it's okay to understand that you don't know what you're doing. But that doesn't mean that somebody else is looking at you thinking you look dumb, or, oh, that's crazy, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, nope, especially in the gym. People are super nice in the gym. So
that's the one thing I gotta agree with you. Like, nobody's paying attention to you. And if they are, a lot of the times people are very helpful. Like, I've had mad times when I was like, bro, I remember one time I was in the gym. I was trying to move to 2 plates right on the bench press. I dropped that weight so fucking hard on my chest, so fucking hard. But like, bro, I was sitting up there squealing. That's why you always need a spotter, first of all. But like, having the people like help me take off the weight off my fucking chest, and be on some like, yo, this is how you're supposed to lift it because you have your arms are too narrow. You need to move out, give it a little bit more space. I can attest to that 100%.
So yeah, I would definitely that would be one of the biggest hurdles that people have to, realize that they need to get over. Because honestly, I feel like that's the only mental block that you really could have in the gym, if you were just now starting.
Yeah, it's definitely getting over yourself for sure, for sure.
Well, I think that's great advice. I got another question for you. With the content creation and, obviously a lot of it taking place at the gym, how have you kind of found yourself like having to work with like the gym etiquette of like cameras? Because we see videos all the time of people getting pissed of them thinking they're recording their workout. How have you managed to get around all of that?
I will say I've been lucky enough to work out in a gym that allows recording and stuff like that. So it wasn't really much of a hurdle to get over that. But I have been to other gyms where it's like, it says don't record, and I'll kind of be like an asshole a little bit. I'll record anyway. I'll do it, but it's never in a sense where I'm like full of myself, right? Like I'll walk into a little corner, make sure everybody's out of the way, and just record. But there are some times where, for example, somebody is in the background or something, or walking by. Like if they're walking by, I'm like, bro, go ahead by all means. Like that, it does not matter. Like I don't care. Walk past it. It's cool. Or if somebody's right there, I'm like, do you mind if I, set this up really quick or take a quick picture or video? And they're like, oh no, like you're good. You're all good. So I've had that, but I don't know. I know some people definitely. I haven't run into a Karen just yet.
Yeah. And whenever you do, you gotta come right back here to AWR and give us a story, because that's one thing we love hearing is Karen stories, my boy. That's one thing for sure.
I will be giving you a story.
Bad.
Yeah, Alex. Well, I was gonna say, Alex, you've been a great guest, man. Thank you so much for joining. Before we let you go, we got one more question for you, and our recording question of the week is: what are your 3 songs / artists that you go to the most in your workouts?
Recently?
Recently,
in general, whatever.
Okay.
Give us a little taste, because I'll be watching your live stream. They be asking about the AlexFit playlist, and this one's for y'all, because I'm telling y'all, we're gonna get him to make one and post the AlexFit playlist. I'm on to y'all.
The thing is, I've dropped some multiple times, like in the story, but it's just some people don't catch on. But I will say, I listen to 3 different genres in the gym. You got your classic hip hop, obviously. You got rock for whenever you want to push heavy.
Oh, hell yeah!
Especially in that gym that I be at. Ethan likes to call it the meathead gym. Hey, you listen to that kind of music in there, you'll see why you kind of learn to like it a little bit. And then we got Spanish music. So for Spanish music, I like old reggaeton, Don Omar.
Okay.
That's my shit. For rock,
right.
Damn, let's see. I don't really know rock bands like that. Don't cook me. But 3 Days Grace, I think, is somebody that I got.
Hell yeah.
So those are really good. I like to listen to Animal I Have Become or something like that. It's cool. It's a real good song. And then number 1, I will say it's rap. Lately, I have been listening to a lot of Big X, especially his new album.
Oh, yeah.
Fire.
Big X's album is really good. I got to give credit where credit is due. Alex put me onto it, and I really do love the production. I'm an absolute fucking slut for Soul Sample Flips, and that's literally all the production of the album. Copy, paste, repeat, and I fucking love it. No complaints from E over here. Complaints for it. Bro, no complaints. I love it. I put that motherfucker on in the gym. It's very good gym or like car ride music. I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. You did like the title of the podcast or the segment suggests you did with them tush. You did put me on to that. So Alex, I appreciate you being on the pod this week. We definitely gonna have you back on very, very soon. All right, we're gonna drag you. I know the price might come up to get you back on the pod because it cost a lot this time around. But
but yeah. Man, what did you and Jordan say? That's my artist.
That's our artist. We signed Alex to a 360, so we're gonna have Alex and a lot more AWR content according to his contract. But appreciate Alex for coming on, guys. Tap the fucking with AlexFit. You already know the fucking vibes. We're gonna have all his links in the description down below. I know he started recently, finally posting a lot more on TikTok at Alex RODGZZ. Make sure to check it out. Come on, Alex. I know what I'm tapped in. I do this shit for real, for real.
But do you follow it though?
Of course I follow it.
Well,
I got a burner. I got a burner.
You follow it on the burner? That's insane.
I follow on the board because I can't do on my like I don't have a public TikTok anymore, like just my public TikTok because I'd be posting them dancing videos and I'd be acting an ass. I'm like, you know what? I can't be posting these. I can't be posting these on public. These ones gotta stay. These guys gotta stay in the friends and family account.
Some of that stuff you got to keep it involved.
Yeah, bad. That's okay. Why you can't acknowledge that? You know what I'm saying? Some stuff we got to keep over here. We got to separate between the two. Appreciate you having you on, Alex.
Of course, appreciate you guys.
Put you on. That was a good one. I'm proud of us.
We fucking nailed that shit.
That was a good one. It's been a minute too since we didn't put you on. It's been a fat little minute.
It's just right that we nailed it. And E, I think it's only right that you get it started, man. What do you want to get it started with?
I want to get started with some music, and I know I mentioned it earlier when Alex was on the pod, but I'm going to go with Take Care, the new Big X The Plug album. It's really, 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 really good. It's really good. A lot of soul samples that he flips. I feel like it perfectly encapsulates Texas rap in 2024. And it's a really cool subgenre of hip hop that I feel like a lot of people are starting now to pay attention to because of guys like Big X. And I enjoy it a lot. I didn't think I would enjoy it. My whole thing with a lot of times with a lot of Texas artists is I feel like they come across, especially new age Texas artists, as very gimmicky, right? They kind of lean too much into the whole y'all and the cowboy aesthetic. And it's like, yeah, that's part of being a Texan, but like you ain't gotta lean into it that much where it comes off like a little inauthentic. And I think Big X avoids that completely with this new project. Some of my standout tracks gotta be Leave Me Alone, 2 a.m., and Back on My BS. So Big X, The Plug's new album, Take Care. That's going to be my put you on for the week as far as music.
All right. I like it. I'm going with this put you on for two reasons. Because one, the music is amazing. And secondly, the artist who produces this music, I really don't know how else to say this. She's a dime. She is amazing. And her name is Tyla. Okay. She released her deluxe album and the song Push to Start. Let me tell you, if you're into that Caribbean vibe shit, this is just the thing for you. You got to play this shit when you got a girl in the car. I promise you it'll get you laid.
That's what playing Tyla can guarantee you.
Yes. I think so. I can't confirm that actually.
Yeah, bad. Let's not put that on nobody's jacket.
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm with you. I rocked with Tyler's album earlier this year, the self-titled one. So I haven't actually got a chance to check back and double back on the deluxe. But if you said it's fire and you don't listen to you do listen to a lot of like dance music closer to like the reggaeton vibe. So to hear that you're kind of interested in like this Afro beats, like Caribbean style music that Tyler has to offer, I'm proud of you, man. I'm definitely gonna tap in. Push to Start is the name of the song, right?
Yes, Push to Start. Yep. And I mean, I like the album too, but yeah, that's
the track. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the track. And again, super attractive, but that helps a lot too.
I'm dead. Well, my other put you on for the week as far as visual media goes is got to be this show on I think it's WME, not WME. What's it called? What's the streaming service? WGM, MGM Plus. It's this horror show called From. I'm pretty sure people have seen a lot of clips on it on social media. Basically, the plot of From is that these people they're taking a road trip and they stumble across this town that they can't escape. And the thing is, come nightfall, these people show up into the town and you're not supposed to let them inside of your house because if they do, spoiler alert, they off you. The show is great. I don't watch a lot of horror, but if you're into like horror kind of Lost vibes, From definitely gives me Lost vibes. I think it comes from a couple of the creators or the writers from Lost. So you should definitely check it out. From it's on MGM Plus streaming, so you should be able to find it there for those who are looking for it. Really, really good show. Really, really good show. I think the third season is out now. I'm still in the first season, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, with Halloween right around the corner, need some spooky content. So I like that. I like that. Put you on for the week. I like that you also said visual media, because I'm going to take a little bit of a turn here, and I'm not going to do a movie, and I'm not going to do a TV show.
Okay, what you got for me?
I'm going to do a video game.
Okay.
And it's Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I knew that a lot of people probably saw this coming, and I just got to say, I love this game. It is so many things that I love from the Tenkaichi Budokai series. So if you played those growing up, this game is right up your alley. And it's it's just creating such a buzz on the internet right now that I'm just so happy. I love that Dragon Ball is like in the eye of all of culture right now, and it's for a very fun game. I think video games are back.
I know Black Ops 6 comes out in the next couple weeks.
We're getting a new Wolverine game. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, we've gotten some really good stuff lately, and I'm excited to see what else the video game industry can bring us in the next coming years. But this is a very, very good Dragon Ball game, the best one they've released in a long time. So, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'm sure you've seen a lot of gameplay. Highly recommend buying it if you have that next gen console money, because it'll take you a little time to practice. Because there's some real. I don't know if you've played online, but
I haven't played. I've seen a lot of clips from the game, but I haven't really tapped in 100%. But I've heard a lot of good things from it.
Yeah, that's fun, dude. The online community is very sweaty, though, so prepare yourself.
It's facts. I already know.
Very sweaty.
But that's gonna be our put you on for the week, and let's transition into. I think we gotta give a really, really big shout out. After 20 plus long years, the New York Liberty have finally done it. They've got themselves a chip. Shout out Breanna Stewart. Shout out to Jonquil Jones. Shout out to those fine women. Shout out to Sabrina Ionescu, even though she had one of the worst closeout games I've ever seen in my entire life. I think she went 1 for 20, something like that on the court. Let me pull it up according to Cox sources. The Liberty versus the Lynx game 5. But it was a pretty great ending to a pretty incredible season for the WNBA. And I'm just really happy that the Liberty finally done it. I'm also happy that I was right. They are my pre-season finals pick. And to see them win how they won, I feel for the Lynx though, because I really do think in that game 5, boy oh boy, the fix was in. Boy oh boy, the fix was in, and the Lynx coach thought so as well. After the game, she absolutely tore apart the referees, and she's probably going to get a fat ass fine.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't blame her. I don't blame her.
And I quote, it was stolen from us.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the best of looks. It wasn't the best of looks from these teams from the WNBA. I'm pretty sure they are happy that the Liberty won, considering that they were 0-5 entering in to this finals. Part of me, but
and New York in general has not won shit in any sport
in a long ass time.
Yeah, in a long time. So.
Yeah, and for them to have it the way that they did, I know New York fans aren't complaining for sure. I know Breanna Stewart's already probably going to finish as she's already, if not on that Mount Rushmore of women's basketball players. This pretty much solidifies it. Winning everywhere she's went. She's won at UConn. She won at Seattle, and now winning a title, bringing it to the city of New York. Shout out to her. Sabrina, if I see you at that parade, though, I'm not going to lie, it's going to look funky. Because boy, oh boy, was she had a game winner. And I think game 2 or game 3. But boy, oh boy, Sabrina. She had a rough series. She had a rough series. But shout out to the New York Liberty, because the WNBA, it's only up from here. I feel like this season being as big as it was because of a lot of the storylines going into it. I'm very excited to see next year too, how they're going to handle everything, especially with the college basketball season starting up very, very soon, and how next year they're going to be able to handle the likes of girls like Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins coming in. It's gonna be nice. I'm ready for it.
Hey, I mean, this is like the first time think throughout the podcast that we've had multiple episodes where we talk about the WNBA, and that's amazing. That's a great thing for the sport because that just means that there are more eyes on it, more people are caring about it, and this is just year one of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. If they can keep building these college stars, like you're saying, Paige Beckers, and we can keep growing the WNBA like that, and I just think it's awesome, man. It was a great first season of I guess just like coming back into dominance. I think they've had the best. I'll have to check that Cox sources, but I think these were like the best viewing numbers that the WNBA finals have ever had.
Gotta be. Considering everything that was coming into it, bro. Like they handled the Caitlyn stuff the best that they could. I feel like they could have done a little bit better, but the playoffs was amazing. I don't know. I had a blast this season with the WNBA. I really, really, really did. And to see them come out on top the way that they did, no, it's exciting. Only good news for the W.
Yeah.
Shout out to New York Liberty.
Shout out to the New York Liberty. And with one basketball season ending, that means another basketball season starts. And it's the start of the NBA season. As we're recording tonight, we're recording on opening night of the NBA season. We witnessed the Celtics beat down on the New York Knicks. And the Lakers.
The Celtics look good. The Celtics look good, boy.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a given. I think we all kind of knew they were going to be running it back with a pretty solid squad. Just a hunch.
Yeah.
And then the Lakers took care of business with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of conversations about all of these teams throughout the season. But I just want to get a full scope of how you're feeling about maybe your Dallas Mavericks and
my Los Angeles Lakers. Don't forget that.
Shut up. You're not a Lakers fan.
You had the king and his prince. You had the king and his prince today.
You're not a Lakers fan.
And Bronny checking in at the same time. It was a movie. I was like, you know what? I've been talking shit a lot about this whole nepotism thing, and I still stand by everything I've said. But I thought that moment was very, very cool, and something that we're probably never going to see again as basketball fans. So I feel like, you know what, that right there, we had to sit there and we had to enjoy it. And it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was. But now that we're done talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, because they're not your team, I wanted to just pivot back, man. How are you feeling about the landscape of everything going into this NBA season, about the Dallas Mavericks and just everything going on around the league?
Bro, this season, I'm ready for it. Like, Boston does have a juggernaut. I think we're on the brink of seeing an all-time team, especially if they're able to go back-to-back, which they have a very, very good chance. I'm not going to hold you. That squad, watching this game against the Knicks, again, only opening night. The Knicks, like I said, new squad. They have Cat on the lineup. They have Mikal Bridges. A lot of players coming back from injury from a couple months ago. So I knew the Knicks were going to be rusty, but boy, the Celtics, that offense, that's one of the best offenses I've ever seen, dog. They go 5 out and all of them boys can spray. That's a squad. Especially everything that happened this summer too with Team USA putting the battery in the backs of guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who weirdly enough, it seems like they might be on a revenge tour, even though they're coming off an Olympic gold medal and rings and a final MVP, but they're going to be on a revenge tour because of it. It's going to be a long season, but I'm excited. I know we're going to break down in a second who we believe are going to be our top 10 teams going into the season. Whenever you're ready, we can get it pumped because I got my 10 right here ready to go.
Man, I was not aware that we were doing power rankings.
Yeah, fuck it, let's do some power rankings.
Hey, well, you know what? I'm down for it, and I'll do it on the spot with you. Because why not? And you know what? Just
how about we do this? We flip it back and forth, right? We start from 10, we go down to 1, and we start that way. We started the AWR. This is going to be the AWR top 10 power rankings for the 24-25 NBA season.
Okay.
And number 10, I am going to have healthy, right? All healthy.
Yeah.
And number 10, I'm going to have the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay. That's I feel like I don't know.
Is that too high for you?
I don't know where I have them because I think they're going to be a really good team, but I'm just worried about the injuries because Embiid is injury prone. They're already saying that he's not going to play back-to-backs at all this season, maybe throughout the rest of his career. You're not starting on the best foot with Paul George hyperextending his knee before the season even starts. So I have concerns.
But I feel like 10's a good spot. If they're healthy, I think 10's a good spot.
I think 10's a good spot for them because, like, if they are healthy, and even then, you still got Tyrese Maxey. He can hold it down for a little bit, I think. Just got to hope that those guys can stay healthy. But I'm with you. I think they're a top 10 team if they're all healthy.
All right, so 10, we got Sixers. At 9, who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with the Memphis Grizzlies at number 9.
At 9?
At 9. I think
I was gonna have him a lot higher. I was gonna have him a lot higher.
You're gonna have him higher, really?
Yeah, I think that Memphis is loaded. I think they're my sleeper team in the West. I really think like I said, we're gonna go down the list and I'm gonna talk about my 2 favorite teams in the West. But I got Memphis a lot higher than 9. But if you got it's the AWR list. It's both of us together. So if you got Memphis at 9, fuck these other guys. I'm rolling with you. We got Memphis at 9.
No, I really like Memphis too. I think they're gonna be a really good team. I do have a few questions just about what they're going to do with the center position because they did draft Zach Edey and he's looked really good in the preseason. Hopefully he can just consistently put up those numbers. But again, this all is going to tie back to Ja. Is Ja going to be back healthy in the right mindset? He's not going to be doing stupid shit to get him off the court. That's the real question. And if he does, they're going to be a top 10 team. They could possibly be a top 2 seed in the West with how good
I think that
the squad could be.
Bro, they're going to get Jaren Jackson Jr.
Desmond
back this
Bane, Jaren Jackson,
JG Jackson. They have a squad, bro. They really have a really good squad. So that's why I'm surprised you. I'm not surprised you had them on the list. I was going to have them closer to the top 5, but 9, I'm not mad at that. At 8, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. I like the idea, the insert of JJ Redick. I think he's going to be a better coach for us than Darvin Ham is. I like Dalton Connect. He is, bro. Yes,
sorry.
Yes,
continue.
Dalton Connect is a fucking bucket. I'm not going to let preseason gas me up too much in preseason, but I do like the Dalton Connect pickup. I think he was one of the steals of the draft. I think he adds shooting and scoring that the Lakers desperately need. But again, this season is going to come down to, I'm not going to say AD's health because he was fairly healthy last year. But the Lakers are going to go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. Anthony Davis is the best player on the team, point blank, period. For the Lakers to be their best selves, he needs to be the best player on the team. Not saying that he wasn't last year. I feel like last year the supporting cast let them down more than anything else, which is the inverse of what happened 2 years prior against Denver, where I felt like LeBron and AD let the supporting cast down against Denver. But at number 8, I'm going to have the Los Angeles Lakers. I do think they're going to have a little better year than previous.
Okay, I like it. I think I am going to go at number 7. This is tough. There's still so many teams that I have to consider. And I know the ones that I want towards the top. This is one of these. I'm going to go with number 7. I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think people are down on them, rightfully so, after last season because it was rough. Bringing Dame into the offense was not as smooth a transition as everyone thought it was going to be. You had injuries to Chris Middleton, injuries all over. Giannis.
It's just an older squad, bro. It's just an older squad.
Yeah, it is. But I think that they're going to need to figure it out. Chris Middleton is coming in. He actually went on an interview recently and was talking about his label as being injury prone. And unfortunately, that's just the label that's been put on him because he has been hurt the last couple of seasons. But before all of that, he had been pretty consistent. And hopefully he can get back to that level of play because I think he's really important to just the core that they have there. And again, you still got Dame, you still got Giannis, you still got a group of guys that are hungry to win a championship. And I'm putting them at 7 just because, who else in the East is there really to compete with Boston besides Philly? And
I would say the Knicks.
I was going to say the Knicks, but they're going to be higher on the list for me too. Besides that, though, I really don't think there's another team in the East that's going to be competing against them besides Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going to be one of the only teams that really has a chance as long as Giannis and Dame stay healthy.
See, and I do think they need a big season this year because, like I said, that squad is old.
They do.
Not to tarp on it, but I would flip Memphis and Milwaukee.
I'm not mad at that. Honestly,
I would flip Memphis and Milwaukee.
I'm not mad at that. If you would, we could do that. Honestly, let's switch it. If you want, we'll switch it.
Repeat it. So repeat it again. So at 9.
Or at 9, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks now. You at number 8 picked the Los Angeles Lakers, and now at number 7, we're just sliding down the Memphis Grizzlies to 7. So who did you have at 10? Apologize.
Sixers. I had Sixers.
Sixers.
I was
Okay.
debating between the Sixers and the Pacers at 10, but I'm gonna go with the Sixers just because they're more top end.
Pacers are solid too, man. I think they're gonna have a good
Conference
season.
Finals. You know what I mean? I want to see a full healthy year of Tyrese before I say something. So at 7, can you repeat it one more time? Who we got at 7?
At 7, we've got the Memphis Grizzlies now. I slid them down instead of the Milwaukee Bucks. So Memphis at 7.
Number 6, I'm going to go with. I gotta make sure I'm not forgetting any teams because we're kind of going. I want to say fast, but I want to make sure that we're not forgetting any teams. But pardon me. At number 7 or at number 6, it's hard because I do think this is when we're gonna start getting closer and closer to the Sorry, we're gonna get closer and closer to the contenders in the NBA for who can make the finals. And number 7, I'm gonna have to go. Number six. Sorry, I said 7 again. Number 6, I'm really gonna go with the Denver Nuggets. I like the addition of Russ. I really, really do. Having him in the dunker spot, having him as another playmaker, opposite of Jokic, opposite of Jamal Murray. I really love it. I think it was a move they should have done last year. Because I think if they would have Russ last year as a replacement for a guy like Bruce Brown, they probably would have made it out the West with Russ. The problem with getting Russ this year is that you lost a guy in KCP. He was one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league. You lost KCP. And I just don't feel like you have enough shooting. I think Jamal's been really, really bad since coming back from injury. He was bad in the playoffs. Yes, he had the big moments against the Lakers, but he was really, really bad against Minnesota. He was really, really bad for Canada in the Olympics this summer. And they're going to need a big, big year from him, especially with the squad getting thinner and thinner. But I do think when you have Jokic and when you have that starting 5, you're going to have probably one of the best offenses in basketball guaranteed. And especially in the West, when now that team in Minnesota doesn't necessarily have the Jokic stopper in Cat and Gobert together, being able to stop that team, I like their chances a lot. I just feel like they're just too thin. But I'm going to go the Denver Nuggets at 6.
I like it. I like the Nuggets in the top 10. I don't know. I feel like Jokic is such a cheat code that like I wouldn't even mind you putting them like in the top 5. Just because he's so good.
I was debating between them and Minnesota at 6. I think for me, I don't know who you're going to have at 5.
You know, I'll take Minnesota at 5, actually. That's who I was thinking because, I mean, even though they lost Cat, I still think Anthony Edwards is a dog. Jaden McDaniels is a dog. They've got guys on this team that can really play, and I really don't think that losing Cat and replacing him with Julius Randle is going to be that detrimental. It is going to hurt. It's definitely going to like influence a lot of the stuff they're going to have to change offensively. You don't have that perimeter shooting and that big man anymore, but
you get something else in different in Randle. Randle's I think a better playmaker. He's a better scorer inside. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's going to look really ugly with him and Gobert, but I feel like in the future it gives them flexibility too, because you're kind of locked in with Cat for the next 3 years, like locked in with Cat. And I feel like they saw his performance against Dallas and was like,
yeah. And I mean, they just recently re-signed Naz Reid too, who was a big part of that team last year. And now he's going to get some more play because it's going to call for it. Randle hasn't been healthy the last couple of years. So there's a chance that, I mean, knock on wood, hopefully he does stay healthy, but there's a chance he doesn't play all 82 games. So Naz Reid's going to have to step up and play some big minutes for these guys now. And I think he's entirely capable of it. So
also, I like the additions too of Rob Dillingham and Dante DiVincenzo, because you saw in that Dallas series, they've really, really lacked playmakers. Really, really. Dallas was daring anybody else, but Anthony Edwards to handle the rock, and it worked out for them. And I feel like they kind of realized, like, yeah, Ant has to get better as a playmaker, but we also have to give him some help. And you know about them Kentucky guards, boy. They are good. When in doubt, draft a Kentucky guard. And Rob Dillingham is going to be very, very good. If maybe not this year, but in the future, I feel like Hugh has a chance to be a very good partner for him. And for the time being, him and Dante DiVincenzo, Dante gives him, like, you can rest now Anthony Edwards in a playoff series for like 2-3 minutes if you need to. Like, DiVincenzo gives him that break. He gives you quality 3-and-D minutes. You saw it against, with the Knicks. You saw it with him, how great he was against Indiana. So I like their team. I really do like their team. I think like they lost, like you said, perimeter shooting and a little bit of defense with Cat. I do think they kind of saved some of it with Naz Reid, because Naz Reid is going to have a bigger workload. But Randall too is going to help a lot. I like this Minnesota team. I'm not mad at you having them 5. Like I said, them in Denver 5 and 6 is where I would have it.
Yep. Well, E, you're up at 4. So how you feeling here? Because I think we're basically down to like the teams that I think we're all kind of in agreement with, but it's just a matter of what's the order.
For sure. At number 4, I'm gonna have the New York Knicks. Okay. They didn't have a good showing at all today against Boston. Boston blew them out the water, but I'm gonna give them a pass. First game of the season, new team, right?
Against the defending champs on ring night.
It is what it is. I'm kind of worried a little too much about them messing with Mikal Bridges' shot, but I do like the Mikal Bridges pickup. I think Cat is a play finisher for them that I feel like in crunch time's a bad way to put it, but I feel like he extends the court a lot. He doesn't really clog up the paint too much for guys like Brunson in a way that Julius might have had. I do like their team a lot. I feel like they lost a little bit of depth getting rid of DiVincenzo, but I do like their team a lot. They got really, really long. They re-signed OG. If they stay healthy, I think they're the second best team in the East.
I fully agree. I think they would have gone to the Eastern Conference Finals had it not been for Jalen Brunson's injury. He was playing unreal, and now you add Cat into the equation. And like you said, you lose a little bit of depth in Dante DiVincenzo, but I think bringing in Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns this offseason is just going to make them so dangerous offensively. Yeah, I really like this Knicks team, man, and I'm not mad at you having them at number 4. I am going to have your Dallas Mavericks at number 3. And this one really hurts because I love Luka. I love Kyrie. They were in the finals last year and put up a valiant effort against the Boston Celtics. And I think they got better this offseason, adding Klay Thompson. You're getting second year of sorry, the name's slipping.
Derek Lively.
Yeah, Derek Lively, who played really, really well in the postseason for y'all.
You gotta remember too, they're adding Quentin Grimes. They're adding as well Najee Marshall. I'm not mad. I think Dallas has a top 3 team. You're not gonna hear no complaints out of me. I feel like you watched that Boston series, and I feel like people have this kind of notion that like Dallas's defense was so bad, and that was the reason why they lost the series. When the matter of fact was Dallas couldn't shoot for shit. Outside of Luka, nobody on that team could shoot in that Boston series. And if you're Dallas, right, going into this season, knowing the window that you have with Luka and Kyrie, like, yeah, you made a finals, but you want to win one. And how do you beat this Boston team? I think defensively, you can talk about how great Dallas was last year, especially with the addition of guys like PJ Washington. And even though they lost Derrick Jones Jr., you do replace him in another quality defender in Najee Marshall. Quentin Grimes, when we last saw him, was a really, really good 3D player. Klay Thompson might not be the same player, but it's still fucking Klay Thompson. That's still fucking Klay Thompson. You know what I'm saying? And when you have a guy like Luka that can generate some of the best open looks in basketball, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. I think that's what kind of Dallas is banking on. Like, okay, our shooting got it worse. Our shooting was terrible in that finals. How do we replace that? Let's get a top 3 shooter of all time in Klay Thompson that specializes in catch and shoot. He's not going to have to create his own shot as much as he had to in Golden State. A guy like Quentin Grimes, who's a lot more of a consistent shooter, a better defender than a guy like, Josh Green. Right, he may not be as athletic as Josh Green is, better defender, way better shooter. We saw him with the Knicks before he got hurt, how good he was with them. Najee Marshall in his year with New Orleans, a really, really good point of attack defender. If there's somebody that Oklahoma City Thunder fans, I know Gobi might be watching this. Najee Marshall is a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stopper. He's a really, really good defender, really, really good scorer. I feel like he's a decent enough playmaker too, where like being fourth in rotation, handling the rock behind Luka, behind Kyrie, behind Spencer Dinwiddie, and or Dante Exum. That's not a bad fourth or third option handling the ball. So I'm not mad. I feel like Dallas has a legit shot. I think the team I'm going to name at 2, these 2 teams on paper, I think are the 2 best teams in the West.
Yeah.
Barring a team like Denver or Memphis upsetting them.
Yep. And I kind of backed you into a corner with that one because now I'm assuming your number 2.
My number 2 pick is going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. That team is fucking loaded. I think they, on paper, should be the favorite coming out of the West. Like I said, I'm going to root for my Dallas Mavericks, so don't take this too much to heart. You already know the vibes. But I feel like Shai has, last year he proved that he can go mano a mano with a guy like Luka in the playoffs. His play style translates to the playoffs. He was great against Dallas. And you saw them address a lot of the needs that they had that Dallas took advantage of. Size on the board, right? Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, PJ, they were really able to take advantage of Chet on the boards and their lack of size. You know what they do? Go get a really, really great 5 in Isaiah Hartenstein that fixes a lot of those problems, and who's a guy that I think can play alongside Chet and really give a really, really good kind of Twin Towers look down in the paint for them. And then they go and get one of the best perimeter defenders in basketball in Alex Caruso that kind of adds to their point guard depth. That makes it really, really difficult to play against because you're going to have a guy like Shai who's already a pretty good defender. J-Dub, a pretty good defender. And you add an all-world defender. Lu Dort, an all-world defender. Then you add a guy like Alex Caruso, who is one of the best 3-and-D players in basketball, who is a legit clamps on the guard position. There's not really there's nothing really wrong with their roster. They have pretty much a really, I don't want to say perfect, but they don't really have any holes. My personal thing with them is coming out of the West, it's going to come down to Jalen Williams. I don't think Jalen Williams had a very good series against Dallas. I'm not going to say he cost them, but I feel like you look at the difference between a guy like him and a guy like Kyrie Irving come playoff time, especially with experience. That's something that Dallas definitely had the edge over them with regards to that. Like kind of Luka and Shai kind of canceled out each other that series. I think a lot of the part had to do with the fact that Luka was hurt, but Luka was still on the court, so no excuses, right? They kind of even each other out, but I think Kyrie significantly outplayed a guy like Jalen Williams. And for Oklahoma City to take the next step and kind of realize themselves as like a fully fledged like contender to compete against the teams like Dallas and Boston nonetheless and achieve their dreams, I think Jalen Williams is going to have to be that guy that takes that next step.
Yeah, and I could definitely see it coming from him because he's a very good defender. I don't want to say like this Oklahoma City Thunder team because I'm a Spurs fan, and it honestly terrifies me that they have so much talent and they still have all of their picks. It's fucking unbelievable. They can only continue to get better. So I just hope the Spurs can keep up as Wemby continues his development in San Antonio. But yeah, man, going back to Oklahoma, you nailed it right on the head, man. I don't see any glaring weaknesses with this team. They're good all over the board. Defensively, they've got depth. Offensively, they can put buckets on the board. I really just feel good about this team, man. And unless there's just some, knock on wood, crazy injury or catastrophic kind of event that happens to this team, I definitely see them at least finishing as a top 2 seed in the West. There's no way I see them falling even below like a 4 seed, just with all of the talent they have. I really like them. And I think that kind of leaves number 1 to be the Boston Celtics. Yeah. And we've talked about them a lot. They're the defending champs. They've still got a chip on their shoulder, even after winning the championship. So this is going to be the team to beat until proven otherwise. And
they're on the brink of becoming, I think, a future dynasty. Again, they only have 1 ring, right? They only have 1 ring, but damn, is that squad loaded? Like I said, the only teams that really, I think, I only really gave like 3, 4 teams a shot to maybe overlook them. I feel like Dallas, if their shooting gets a lot better, maybe they would give them more of a run for their money than last year. Oklahoma City, them having that talented of a roster, I think they're second behind Boston. right?
Yeah.
They still might need a little more top end help to get over that hump. And then maybe Denver, because they have Jokic. The same thing with Memphis with Ja and Jaren Jackson and them boys. But even then, it's Boston and there's everybody else until proven otherwise.
Yep. And it's going to be a really interesting year. Even if you're not a Boston Celtics fan, you should be watching NBA basketball because that is where all the action is going to be happening. And you should also be subscribed and watching the Are We Recording podcast every week. If you are not, you got to hit the bell, get the notifications, see when we're posting, because now we got our podcast episodes and we're also doing our NFL prediction videos. So if you like those and you like these, continue to like them, share, and support us in any way possible because it really helps us out. And we love y'all. E, anything else?
No, I appreciate you guys watching. We're going to have a lot of these segments split up. The timestamps or everything are going to be down below. I know Alex was on earlier. Appreciate Alex being on the pod, talking about his journey as a content creator. If you guys want us to see us have more guests like Alex, our bag runs deep, boys. We know some people who know some people, so we can get them on the pod for y'all. Just let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to follow us at Instagram at AWR Podcast. Me and Gage's @ are right here on the screen if you want to get to know us more. Check us out on TikTok at AWR Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Our Recording. NFL Picks videos coming out once a week. Now that we're going to get the podcast, it's been like a month or two since we got a podcast video, but we're going to have these segments split up too on social media. So a lot of uploads coming along the way this month. So be sure to tap in.
Yep. And we're having a lot of fun making it. So I hope you guys are having a lot of fun watching them. So for the Are We Recording podcast, it's the young Rottweiler and 5'6" of pure temptation, Ethan Hamilton. And I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank y'all for watching another episode, and we will see y'all next time.